Good morning, and welcome to the New Hanover County Schools The Morning Show. I'm Grayson Borst.
And I'm Kira Schwigel. Thank you for joining us today and starting your day off with our exciting and educational morning show.
We hope you are enjoying our show this school year, along with our sister show, Your School News.
Before we get started today, we wanted to take a few moments to tell you about several of the other quality programs we have airing on our channel.
Anyone with a student in the New Hanover County Schools system will want to watch Up Front with the Superintendent. Our host, Ann David, sits down for a one-on-one with Superintendent Dr. Markley. Together, they discuss important topics facing our school system and highlight changes and programs the public needs to know about.
We also have The Forum, hosted by Sheila Evans. The Forum highlights interesting and important achievements, programs, and events within our school system and community. Every episode features 3 separate interviews which strengthen and bond between the school and system and community.
And another show you shouldn't miss on our channel is Diversity Matters. This show is hosted by Valita Quattlebaum and takes a look at diversity in the school system and community. The show explores unique programs, community partnerships, and talks with the many different students in our school system.
If you are a fan of sports, then be sure to tune into our coverage of high school football on the Sports Roundtable. Playoffs are underway, and you can see the game highlights, hear from the coaches in this long, popular show.
And don't miss our other programming, which features Board of Education meetings, music concerts, NASA features, and others so much more.
So, if you are a fan of the morning show and your school news, be sure to tune into our programs as well. You will enjoy them.
It's always a good time here at NHCS TV.
It's time to check in with our third member of our team, Leah Schwigel. She is standing by right now with our first look at the morning news headlines. Good morning, Leah.
Good morning, Grayson and Kira. Welcome everyone to Your School News, here on The Morning Show. Topping the headlines this week, Board of Education October meeting notes. NOAA visits CTEC for exhilarating lunch and learn. And New Hanover County Schools introduces its first podcast. I'll have all of those stories and more coming up later in the show.
Thanks, Leah.
It's time for a stable here on The Morning Show, This Week in History. Our Grand Master of Historical Knowledge has all the headlines from past times and This Week in History.
Welcome to This Week in History. I'm your historical host, Bryce Barker, covering all the colorful and amazing events that have left their mark on history's timeline. This is the week of October 7th through October 13th. October 7, 2001, a U.S. coalition begins attacks on Taliban-controlled Afghanistan with an intense bombing campaign. The invasion of Afghanistan was the opening salvo in the United States war on terrorism in a response to the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks on New York and Washington. October 8, 1919, the first transcontinental air race in the United States begins with 63 planes competing in the round-trip aerial derby between California and New York. As 15 planes departed from San Francisco, California, 48 planes left Roosevelt Field on Long Island, New York. October 9, 1967, socialist revolutionary and guerrilla leader Che Guevara is killed by the Bolivian army. The Bolivian forces, backed by the U.S. military, captured him on October 8th while battling his band of guerrillas. He was assassinated the following day. October 10th, 1780, a powerful storm slams the islands of the West Indies, killing more than 20,000 people. Known as the Great Hurricane of 1780, it was the deadliest storm ever recorded. Many of the deaths occurred at sea as ships had no advance warning. October 11, 1975, Saturday Night Live, a topical comedy sketch, shows that makes its debut on NBC. It will go on to become the longest-running, highest-rated show on late-night television. Finally, your weekend history tidbits. October 12, 1492, after sailing across the Atlantic Ocean, explorer Christopher Columbus sights a Bahamian island. Believing he has reached East Asia, his expedition went ashore and claimed the land for Spain. October 13, 1792, the cornerstone is laid for a presidential residence in the newly designated capital city of Washington. In 1800, President John Adams became the first president to reside in the Executive Mansion, which soon became known as the White House. That's This Week in History, ultimate source for those key moments in time. I'm Bryce Barker. Thanks for stopping by.
And join us again next time for another journey through time as we explore the fun, fascinating, entertaining, and educational facts that make up this week in history.
We have plenty more of the morning show ahead, including a look at National School Lunch Week.
But first, as we head to break, we have the word of the week. Each week we highlight an advanced English word so when you use them in a sentence, you can impress even educated speakers. Here's our word of the week.
Home fire drills give your family a plan of action. In a home fire, you may have less than 2 minutes to get out. So when you drill, show everyone 2 ways out of the house, pick a safe meeting spot, and get there in under 2 minutes. Then practice home fire drills at least twice a year. You can even make them fun. So everyone knows the sound and exactly what to do when they hear a smoke alarm. Go to ready.gov/fire drill and learn how to prepare your family for home fires.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to the morning show. I'm Grayson Borst.
And I'm Kira Schwegel.
We now have snapshots, where we take quick looks at some of the positive things going around our school system.
From fun projects to school-wide events to guest speakers and fabulous field trips, there are so many great things for our school to celebrate.
Parsley Elementary wished a special thanks to their janitorial staff for National Custodians Day. Staff members decorated their office door and thanked them for the hard work that they do every day.
Laney High School student Dylan Williams found a new way to bring life to the campus as part of his Eagle Scout service project. He built a garden outside the cafeteria and filled it with plants, adding a bit of nature to the students' lunchtime.
Students at Castlehane Elementary School enjoyed a virtual read-aloud with Todd Nissoloni, the author of Kids Deserve It. After the reading, the class was able to ask the author questions and learn a little about writing a book.
Isaac Bear, early college student, spent time volunteering at Community Workday, sponsored by Home Depot, to benefit Island Montessori School. They help paint outdoor areas and help beautify the school grounds.
New Hanover County Schools principals were recognized for their hard work in celebration of National Principals Month during October. During their principals meeting, they posed for a group picture and was treated to a taco bar lunch.
Ogden Elementary School students, parents, and faculty welcomed the sunrise while participating in National Walk to School Day. A large number of families gathered to walk to school.
Alderman Elementary students kicked off Hispanic Heritage Month with a virtual visit to different Latino neighborhoods across the country. Students learned about the contributions of Hispanic and Latino Americans to our history and culture.
As part of Start with a Hello Week, Myrtle Grove Middle School students wrote inspirational messages on Post-it notes to create a smile wall in the lobby. Start Hello Week is designed to empower students to create a culture of inclusiveness and connectivity with each other.
And that's this month's Snapshots, our quick looks at some of the positive things going around our school system.
That was a wonderful outdoor garden the students designed at Laney. It's great to see students putting their talents in lasting projects for others to enjoy.
And a thank you to all the principals in our system. I know they work hard every day doing their best for schools.
They do.
It's time for our morning news. Let's send it over to Leah Schwegel, who has several interesting stories to report. Good morning, Leah.
Good morning and welcome to your school news on the morning show. I'm Leah Schwegel. Our top story this week, the New Hanover County Board of Education held their regular monthly meeting on Tuesday, October 1st at the Board of Education Center. With the board notes is YSN reporter Johan Yellow.
The Board of Education meeting featured a mix of informational reports, old and new business, and an in-depth look at the school system's testing results. Let's get right to the board notes. Under recognition of achievement, there was a community partnership presentation with the Vocational Rehabilitation Services. They highlighted their work with the school system over the years. That was followed by a school spotlight video for C-Tech High School produced by the students at the school. There were also several awards recognized, including the National PTA School of Excellence, Ecology Project International Fellowship recipient, National Security Language Initiative for Youth Scholarship recipient, Outstanding Cadet Award, Girl Scout Gold Award, National NAACP AXO, and the Professional Educators of North Carolina Youth Art. Board member Nelson Bellier then gave a Head Start Liaison report, expenditure report, and went over the non-federal share in-kind report. Several reports were given under information. Policy Committee Chairwoman Jeanette Nichols gave an overview of proposed changes to Policy 5400, naming facilities, and Policy 6431, drug testing. The changes to Policy 7440, student promotion, were discussed and approved. The board then received a detailed report on the annual NHCS accountability data. This was a look at how the 2018-19 testing scores compared over time and with the state scores. Under committee report, each of the board committees gave an update on their meeting and their meeting schedules. Under consensus items, John Welmers presented personnel recommendations. Old business included a look at the 2019-2020 calendars for information only. Also under old business was a budget resolution, and local salary schedules were passed. There were 3 items for discussion under new business: budget amendments, surplus, and the 2019-20 low-performing school plans. The next regular Board of Education meeting will be held Tuesday, November 5th at 5:30 p.m. at the Board of Education Center, 1805 South 13th Street. As always, if you cannot attend the meeting in person, you can watch them live right here on NHCS TV, along with the rebroadcast. That's your board notes for October.
Recently, Southeast Area Technical High School students gathered in the school's College and Career Center during a thunderous lunch to learn about the electrifying field of meteorology. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, sent a representative to talk to students about their program. NOAA's responsibility is to focus on the atmosphere, waterways, and of course, the conditions of the oceans. The NOAA representative taught students on a variety of exhilarating topics, such as natural disasters, jobs, and the atmosphere, as well as how weather affects transportation. They are also responsible for the National Weather Service and how regions get support after a catastrophe. One fun topic the students enjoyed was a discussion on the thunderous possibility of a sharknado, which, unsurprisingly, was a likely no. Finally, the Lunch and Learn was ended with a Q&A and a short discussion on Tropical Storm Karen and its position in the Atlantic. It was a great opportunity for students looking into science and math pathways and to learn more about many opportunities in meteorology. In fact, C-Tech's Lunch and Learns open many doors of opportunities for students. They are a weekly program which teaches students about a variety of pathways, from border patrol to marketing to veterinary experience, and are led by an expert in that field. Through the Lunch and Learn series, C-Tech students are exposed to a variety of jobs and potential careers. The NHCS Public Relations Division has released its first podcast, Learn, Lead, Listen, with Ryan Redd and Peter Hunt. The podcast series, titled NHCS Podcast Voices of the District, will present a new podcast each month featuring district teachers, administrators, and staff. The podcast offers another communication vehicle for NHCS to stay connected and to communicate with the community. Chief Communications Officer Valida Quattlebaum stated, "With so many different methods of reaching the public, it is important as a district that we utilize all means. Communication is a key to having an efficient and productive school system, and we want to make sure we are communicating with the community on all platforms." A new podcast will be released each month. On October 28th, District Equity Work Group with Deputy Superintendent Dr. LaShawn Smith, Mr. Al O'Brien, and Ms. Frances Williams will be released. You can listen to the podcast from the story on our webpage at nhcs.net. And finally, New Hanover County Schools has been named an accomplished district by the National Board for Professional Teaching Standards. The National Board recently unveiled a program that recognizes school districts across the country that work hard to promote student learning through accomplished teaching. The National Board Accomplished Districts program will initially honor 81 districts in which at least 20% of its teachers have achieved National Board certification, encouraging teachers to be their best and effectively driving student learning. Districts will be recognized with an award for the district office and unique celebrations for the NBCTs in those districts. New Hanover County Schools will unveil a banner and recognize educators who achieved or renewed National Board certification at the Board of Education meeting on February 4th, 2020. And for all the latest on New Hanover County Schools, join us weekdays at 5 p.m. here on Spectrum Cable Channel 5 and Channel 191 in Carolina Beach for your school news. A complete half hour of all the latest news and information from New Hanover County Schools. Now, back to our hosts.
Thanks, Leah.
All right, it's time now for this week's lunch menu. This is the menu for Monday, October 14th through Monday, October 24th. On Monday, October 14th, shake off those Monday morning blues at lunch with crispy chicken wings served with a garlic knot, lasagna roll-up served with a yummy garlic knot, or a meatball hoagie. Also take pleasure in drool-inducing broccoli and cheese, creamy pasta salad, tomato and cucumber salad, and diced peaches.
Then, on Tuesday, October 15th, race to the nearest lunch line and grab exciting nachos grande with cheese, barkingly good corn dog nuggets, or a pork chop sandwich. On the side, you may add several appetizing items of pinto beans, sweet potato fries, and diced pears.
On Wednesday, October 16th, get over that old midweek hump by treating yourself to fantastic orange chicken served with brown rice, scrumptious cheesy breadsticks, or a Philly cheesesteak. While you're in the lunch line, don't forget to pick up the sides of succotash and awesome applesauce.
On Thursday, October 17th, battle your midday hunger by enjoying either beef aroni served with a breadstick, chicken filet sandwich, or a luscious cheese or pepperoni pizza. Finish the meal off with black-eyed peas, glazed carrots, and a magnificent mandarin oranges.
Then, on Friday, October 18th, you won't want to miss out on lunch as your cafeteria will be serving an exquisite bacon cheeseburger, crispy chicken nuggets, or chicken egg rolls. Keeps your belly cheering with joy by adding French fries, healthy mixed vegetables, and mixed fruit.
Finally, on Monday, October 21st, how will you ever decide between chicken Alfredo served with a dinner roll, an appetizing Italian hoagie, or barbecue pork served with hush puppies? Stay healthy by piling on cool coleslaw, garden peas, tomato and cucumber salad, and diced peaches.
And there you have the lunch menu for the week. In addition to those items, milk, a garden salad, fresh fruit, French bread pizza, and a peanut butter and jelly combo will be available daily.
So many delicious choices. Don't forget you can also start your day off with a healthy and hearty breakfast at school.
And in case you didn't know, next week is National School Lunch Week.
We will tell you about it after this short break.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
I'm a bus driver.
I'm a bus driver.
I'm a bus driver.
Wouldn't you like to be a bus driver too?
New Hanover County Schools is now hiring individuals to be a part of our elite core of school bus drivers.
That's right. You can work full-time, part-time, or serve as a substitute bus driver.
New Hanover County Schools offers competitive wages, flexible hours, and state benefits.
Best of all, you get to work with the greatest kids in the world.
We need you!
Contact us today to join the next free commercial driver's license class.
New Hanover County Schools is an equal opportunity employer.
Oh no, what happened?
Dave.
Oh, I got this. Hey, kiddo.
Dad.
It's good though. Good. Try.
let's take off his sweatshirt. Get rid of pictures of him. We don't have to look at him. Goodbye, Dave.
Mom, you don't understand. He's tagged in like 400 of my posts.
Well, I can cut out tags.
No, that's not how it works.
What is a tag?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love to share their first with you.
Welcome back to the morning show. I'm Grayson Borst.
And I'm Kira Schwagel.
This week is National School Lunch Week, a celebration of all these wonderful meals your cafeteria staff prepares for you each school day.
National School Lunch Week was created in 1962 by John F. Kennedy to celebrate the benefits of the National School Lunch Program.
The program is a federally assisted meal program operating in public schools, providing nutritionally balanced, low-cost, or free lunches to children each school day.
This year, the theme is School Lunch, What's on Your Playlist? Combining music with lunch. The theme is tailored to spotlight the wide variety of flavors, dishes, delivery options, and tastes of today's school lunch.
All week long, schools will be participating in music-based lunch activities and celebration.
The goals are to promote healthy menus and increase school lunch participation, as well as raise awareness about the importance of school meals and the role played by school nutrition professionals.
This week, create your lunch menu playlist of all your favorite school menu items and share it with your friends and cafeteria staff.
You can also share your playlist on social media with the hashtag NSLW19.
And don't forget to thank that staff for the hard work they do every day preparing so many delicious and nutritious meals.
Do you put sleep on the back burner? With so many things going on in most people's lives, a good night's sleep is often not a high priority. Our health tip expert, Johanna Carey, tells us why it's important to get a good night's sleep and how to create better sleep habits in this brand new segment.
Hi, I'm Johanna Carey. In this segment of Healthy Tips, I will be talking about getting enough sleep. While sleep requirements vary slightly from person to person, most healthy people need between 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night to function at their best. The quality of your sleep directly affects your mental and physical health and the quality of your waking life, including your productivity, emotional balance, brain and heart health, immune system, creativity, vitality, and even your weight. Signs that you're not getting enough sleep. If you rely on taking a nap to get you through the day, if you feel sluggish in the afternoon, if you fall asleep within 5 minutes of going to bed, if you hit the snooze button more than once, if you fall asleep in class. The effects of sleep deprivation: moodiness and irritability, increased risk of depression, reduced creativity and problem-solving skills, impaired motor skills, and increased risk of accidents, increased risk of serious health problems including strokes, diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease, weakened immune system, frequent colds and infections, and weight gain, inability to cope with stress, difficulty managing emotions. There are also many ways to improve your sleeping conditions, such as develop a relaxing bedtime routine, avoid screens, work, and get rid of anything that will stress you out, and most importantly, stick to a regular sleep schedule. These are my healthy tips.
Those were some great tips. Thank you, Joanna.
So many people underestimate the importance of sleep.
Hopefully those tips will inspire people to make sleep a higher priority.
Yes, get a good night's sleep and wake up to get energized watching the morning show.
It's the best way to start your day.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
Because you said rude things about my work, I started to question my own voice.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of your negative comments online, I've almost quit doing the one thing that makes me happiest in life.
Because you shared something about me that was private, I felt embarrassed.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included and I knew that I was going to be okay.
Because of you sharing your story with me, I feel comfortable sharing my own.
Because you were there when I was coming out, you helped me regain my confidence.
I'm still here today because of you.
Good morning, and welcome back to The Morning Show. I'm Kira Schwigel.
And I'm Grayson Borst.
We have some great segments ahead, but first we have our Did You Know?
Did you know that crocodiles actually can cry?
Although crocodile tears is a fake term used to describe fake crying, crocodiles can actually cry, but it's not from having their feelings hurt.
While eating, they swallow too much air, which pushes on the glands that produces tears, forcing waterworks to flow.
However, crocodiles cannot sweat due to not having sweat glands, so they release heat through their mouths, and they are often found sleeping with their mouths open.
They also carry their babies in their mouth to safely bring them to water.
Speaking of their mouth, the saltwater crocodile has the strongest bite force ever, measured at 3,700 pounds per square inch. But a human can easily hold their mouths closed with a hand because the muscles in their jaw used to open are incredibly weak.
Saltwater crocodiles are also the largest reptile on Earth, and the largest croc to be recorded was over 20 feet long and weighed more than a ton.
Well, that's all of our facts on these amazing reptiles. And weren't those facts cool as a crocodile?
It's interesting to know that crocodiles cry when they eat. Maybe they are sad from killing their meal.
Perhaps, but there may be some truth to that, their whole air pressure on the glands creating tears.
We turn our attention now from crocodiles to caterpillars, and not just any caterpillar, robotic caterpillars.
That's right. It's all in our episode of Science Nation, which takes dynamic, entertaining look at research and the researchers that will change our lives.
From the latest inventions to studies that could change the way we perceive the world, each episode is packed with electrifying information.
Let's see what they tell us about robotic caterpillars.
Sometimes it pays to be spineless. Take the caterpillar. It can squirm and crawl in ways that would make a contortionist green with envy.
This little guy, as you can see, can grip and hold and move, and we're trying to make devices that are going to be able to do this.
That's right, he's talking about a robotic tobacco hornworm caterpillar. Already, biologist Barry Trimmer and his team at Tufts University have molded plastic models to simulate the caterpillar's movements. With support from the National Science Foundation, these little guys could very well be the nucleus of a whole new field of robotics.
What we call soft material robotics. This doesn't really exist as a discipline currently, but we're rapidly moving towards that.
Imagine small, squishy robots that could be dropped into tall trees to survey the canopy of the forest, or be flown into space to monitor equipment on board the space station.
So it can burrow, it can climb, it can navigate through complex terrain.
Caterpillars don't have big brains. Trimmer says these robots won't either.
Instead, what you have is a body that can perform most of the tasks itself. So what we're trying to do is understand how the nervous system and the body work together to create those complex movements. And if you think about it, that could be really, really interesting, because if you don't have a rigid skeleton, if you don't have bones, you can move in ways that stiff animals can't.
To make a robot patterned on a caterpillar, Trimmer and his team study every aspect of them, down to the DNA.
This is the newly hatched larva. You know, I've been working with these guys for 20 years, and I still can't believe how incredible it is, the transformation from the caterpillar to the moth. It's all in one genome. It's a bit like reprogramming a battleship and using the same blueprint you started with and building a 747 jet.
Trimmer hopes in the next 5 to 10 years, a small, squishy robot will be safe enough to swallow, if you dare, to help diagnose diseases or deliver medications. Amazing how the worm might turn. For Science Nation, I'm Miles O'Brien.
Another remarkable segment of Science Nation.
Caterpillar robots, how neat. After watching these segments for a year now, it's amazing to see how many ideas in science can come from animals and insects.
Who knows? Maybe one day robotic insects will keep a space station going.
It's possible. Thanks to National Science Foundation for keeping us informed on the possibilities.
Now we continue our show with gardening and nature. In this episode, host Barbara Downing with the Cape Fear Garden Club, along with students from Myrtle Grove Middle School, introduce us to bees and the role they play in our world.
Good morning and welcome to the inaugural segment of Gardening and Nature brought to you by the Cape Fear Garden Club. I am Barbara Downing and I am here with Megan from Myrtle Grove Middle School. Megan and I will be exploring bees, pollination, and pollinators.
Miss Downing, why are honeybees so important to nature and to humans?
Well, as you know, bees supply us with honey. But bees are more important than just making honey. Bees are the most efficient pollinators of plants like almond trees, fruit trees, melons, pumpkins, squashes, and berries. Wind, rain, or spiders can be pollinators, but honeybees are what our food supply depends on.
How do you think bees perform this important work?
The bees fly around, but it is their legs that do the work. When you stick your hand in a bag of Cheetos, what happens to your fingers?
My fingers get covered with orange, dusty cheese coating.
Correct. The same thing occurs when a bee flies from flower to flower to collect the nectar to make honey. When a worker female bee lands on a flower to collect nectar, the flower's powdery pollen sticks to her antenna, her fuzz, and her legs. So when the female worker bee moves to the next flower for more nectar, she deposits some of the pollen, enabling the plant to reproduce. Megan, have you ever heard the expression, busy as a bee?
Yes.
Like all insects, honeybees are cold-blooded and most active during the summer months. In the warm weather, the bees have to collect nectar in order to make honey, to make wax, and carry pollen from flower to flower. But did you know that bees need a source of fresh water to drink in order to perform these duties? It is very easy to ensure that bees that come to your yard have a fresh source of shallow, clean water to drink.
How do we do that?
Well, let me show you. First, sprinkle some clean marbles on a shallow curved plate. Notice that this is very shallow. I think you can just put the whole bag on there. Great. Pour just enough clean water over the marbles and balance the plate. We'll balance the plate on a stand or bucket and place it near the flowers in your yard. So we can. There we go.
Bees are really fascinating. How can we learn more about them?
Well, Megan, if we want to know more about bees, there are a ton of books. In fact, a list of books we suggest is available on the New Hanover County Schools TV website. Just click on the blue logo at nhcs.net.
Awesome. Any chance we could learn more about bees?
Well, how about this? For our next edition of Gardening in Nature, let's bring in a beekeeper to find out just what it's like to raise and care for bees.
Can I bring a friend with me next time? This should be really cool.
You sure can, and I hope everyone joins us again next time for our next edition of Gardening in Nature. Back to you.
Thank you, Barbara.
That was great information. That was a wonderful segment also. We look forward to the next episode.
Okay, everyone, get your thinking caps ready because when we come back from break, it's game time.
What challenge trivia game awaits today?
Keep it tuned right here to find out.
We'll be right back.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
I'm a bus driver.
I'm a bus driver.
I'm a bus driver.
Wouldn't you like to be a bus driver too?
New Hanover County Schools is now hiring individuals to be a part of our elite core of school bus drivers.
That's right. You can work full-time, part-time, or serve as a substitute bus driver.
New Hanover County Schools offers competitive wages, flexible hours, and state benefits.
Best of all, you get to work with the greatest kids in the world.
We need you!
Contact us today to join the next free commercial driver's license class.
New Hanover County Schools is an equal opportunity employer.
Welcome to Game Time. I'm your host, Leah Schwagel. As you can see, I have an apple pie here right in front of me, and that's because today's game is our apple special. And I'm in charge of the apple pie. We'll get to that in a few minutes though. First, let's send it over to our contestants and learn all about the apples. Welcome to Game Time, Grayson and Kira.
Thank you, Leah.
Now, fall wouldn't be fall without apples. Apple trees were grown and prized for their fruit by the people of ancient Rome. It is believed that Romans took cultivated apples with them to England when they conquered the country. Apple growing became common in England and many other parts of Europe.
Both the seeds of apples and the trees themselves were brought to America from England, probably in 1629. John Endicott, one of the early governors of Massachusetts Bay Colony, is said to have brought the first trees to America.
Native Americans took seeds from the apples in the wilderness and planted them in their village. As time passed, American apple growers developed many new and improved varieties of apples. Today, the U.S. is the principal apple-producing country in the world.
There are over 7,500 varieties of apples, but apple trees are valued not only for their delicious fruits, but also for their wood, which is used for making mallet heads and golf clubs. Pieces of apple wood add excellent flavor for smoking foods, and the wood makes ideal fire logs.
But what makes a truly tasty apple? The flavor of an apple is a magical blend of tartness, sweetness, bitterness, and aroma that awakens the senses. The sweetness, 9% to 12% of the fruit, comes from sucrose and fructose, two forms of natural sugar. The acid content consists of 90% malic acid and 10% of citric acid. The astringent bite we taste in an apple emanates from tannins. The familiar aroma is a mysterious blend of 250 traces chemicals contained in the fruit.
Now some quick apple facts. Apples come in all shades of reds, greens, and yellows. 2 pounds of apples make one 9-inch pie. Apple blossom is the state flower of Michigan. 100 varieties of apples are grown commercially in the United States. Apples are grown in all 50 states.
In the United States, consumers eat an average of 49.8 pounds of fresh apples and processed apple products a year. That's a lot of applesauce. 61% of United States apples are eaten as fresh fruit. 39% of apples are processed into apple products. 21% of this is for juice and cider. Apples are fat, sodium, and cholesterol free. A medium apple is about 80 calories.
There are around 8,000 apple growers with orchards covering 430,200 acres. Apple varieties range in size from a little larger than a cherry to as large as a grapefruit. The apple variety Delicious is the most widely grown in the United States.
The apple tree originated in an area between the Caspian and Black Sea. Apples were the favorite fruit of ancient Greeks and Romans. Apples are a member of the rose family. Apples harvested from an average tree can fill 20 boxes that weigh 42 pounds each. And Americans eat 18 pounds, or about 60 fresh apples a year.
Since most fresh apples are harvested July through December, take advantage of the just-picked fruit and plan menus to swallow in apple heaven. Some late varieties of apples are harvested from January through April, such as Granny Smith. Apples keep best and longest when refrigerated. Unrefrigerated, apples can become mushy in just 2 or 3 days.
Always wash apples thoroughly before eating or cutting to reduce intake of pesticides, residues, or bacterial contaminants that result from handling.
When cutting any unwashed fruits or vegetables, it is possible to carry pesticides from the skin into the flesh with one cut of the knife.
Apples make so many great dishes this time of year: applesauce, apple butter, and of course the traditional apple pie.
All this talk about apples and apple pie is making me hungry.
I know. Before we get too hungry, let's send it back over to Leah and find out how we can earn a piece of apple pie.
Welcome back, Leah.
So you want apple pie? Here's the game. I will ask each of you 7 questions about apples, and most of the information was talked about during our show, so you should be pros. For each question you get right, you'll earn 10 seconds of time. After all the questions are done, we move to round 2. Using the time you earned, you will have a chance to bob for apples. If you successfully bob for at least 1 apple, you will win a piece of this delicious apple pie. And because I'm so nice, I'll give each of you a free 10 seconds. So, on to the questions. Since you each get the same number of questions, we'll start with Grayson. You can track your score on the board you see on the screen. Okay, here we go. All right, Grayson, what percentage of apples are sold fresh? Is it A, 75%, B, 25%, C, 50%, or D, 100%?
Is it 50%?
That is correct. So you just earned 10 seconds. All right, moving on to Kira. How many pounds of fresh apples do Americans eat each year? Is it A, 15 pounds, B, 18 pounds, C, 20 pounds, or D, 10 pounds?
Is it B?
That is correct. 18 pounds of apples are eaten each year by Americans. And Grayson, back to you. Apples are available A, 2 times a year, B, 1 time a year, or C, all year.
All year?
That is correct. And on to Kira. Apples are a member of which plant family? Is it A, sunflowers, B, roses, C, daisies, or D, tulips?
Roses.
That is correct. And question number 5, what will fresh apples do when placed in water? A, jump out, B, shrink, C, float, or D, sink?
They will float.
That is correct. I read shrink as shriek. It was pretty funny. All right, question number 6. When people pick apples, they are usually A, ripe, B, just buds, C, rotten, or D, sprouts?
A.
Ripe. That is correct. We pick ripe apples. Question number 7. Which apple is the most popular in the USA? Is it A, Granny Smith, B, Golden Delicious, C, Jonathan, or D, Red Delicious apples?
Is it D?
That is correct. Question number 8 for Kira. Apples are harvested by A, horse and wagon, B, people, C, tractors, or D, helicopters?
People.
That is correct.
I would hope so.
All right, Grayson, question number 9. True or false? There are 7,500 different varieties of apples.
Is that false?
That's incorrect.
Oh,
The answer is
Wait.
true.
I knew that as soon as I said it.
That's okay. We'll move on to question 10 with Kira. True or false? More apples are grown in North Carolina than in Washington State.
False.
That's correct. Washington State is the world leader in apple production.
Interesting.
Question 11. True or false? Apples are high in fiber.
True.
That is true.
I promise I'm smart.
And we are on question number 12. True or false? China produces more apples than the United States.
False.
That's incorrect. The answer is actually true, yeah. So question number 13. When are apples harvested? In the spring, summer, fall, or winter?
Spring.
What season are we in?
We're in fall.
That's right. They're harvested in fall. All right, question number 14. How did apples get to America? Was it A, the dinosaurs carried them, B, through bird migrations, C, they are native to America, or D, colonists brought them here? How were apples brought to America?
I'm going to go C.
That is incorrect. They're not native to America. Yes, colonists brought them here. Dinosaurs, that'd be pretty cool. All right, those are all of my questions. And Grayson has 70 seconds to bob for apples, and Kira has 60 seconds to bob for apples. We're going to take a break while we set up for round 2. We'll be right back.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Jeff Foxworthy here. You know, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Wow. Thing is, there's a lot more to say. Like if you've ever found yourself burning yard debris and then walking away, well, you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Welcome back to the morning show. After round 1 with our game, Grayson won 70 seconds to bob for apples and Kira won 60 seconds. Grayson, we are going to let you bob first. Good luck. All right, Grayson. 3, 2, 1. Going for the stem. Okay. Well, that was fast.
How can I beat that? Wow.
Nice.
Okay. Is it my turn now?
So that took 5 seconds. Kira, now it's your turn.
Am I getting a countdown or am I just going?
And 3, 2, 1. Oh, your hair's in the water. That's unfortunate.
You got it. Oh no!
This is
I want that one.
That's a look.
I can't do this. Somebody kick you out.
There you go. We successfully have an apple. Congratulations. That took 25 seconds. Obviously, Grayson's the pro.
Yeah.
And our pie goes to Grayson.
Okay. Well, that does it for this edition of The Morning Show.
Please friend us on Facebook. Just search for New Hanover County Schools TV page.
And follow us on Twitter for all of the latest and most up-to-date announcements at NHCS TV.
Remember, for the best TV of all, keep it right here every single day for New Hanover County Schools TV on the Learning Network.
Have a great day
and a wonderful week.